Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Fish Tank. This is 13, and today I'm bringing you a little bit more sniper gameplay. This is on the map Instinct, and I'm using the Moors Sniper Rifle, or MORS, you take your pick. And I think I ended the game 24-4. But the point of this video is to talk about sniping in Advanced Warfare. If you watched our channel previously, you can see that we kind of put up a shoutcasting of GotFish commentating my gameplay. This is another similar gameplay. I don't think I hit quite as many fancy shots. But I get asked all the time, can you snipe in Advanced Warfare? Is it a viable option? And the answer is yes. Absolutely you can snipe in Advanced Warfare. You know, there was a lot of talk before the game came out about making it harder to snipe. You know, would you be able to quick scope? Could you hit enemies from as far away? That kind of thing. And the answer to all those questions is a resounding yes. Now that being said, they did make sniping a lot harder in Advanced Warfare. It's harder for a couple reasons. Number one is the sway of the scope. This is a very assault rifle dominated game. The assault rifles have little to no sway. Pretty much every one of them is laser accurate from a mile away, and that makes it a little more difficult as a sniper because it means, you know, your primary enemies are generally people with assault rifles, and if they can hit you from a farther distance, it makes it a lot harder to be effective. The other problem that affects the snipers in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is the ADS, or the scope in on the rifles. And this is for two different reasons. Number one, it's much slower than it was in the past. I say much slower, it's only a fraction of a second or so. But in a twitch shooter game like Call of Duty, the faster you can aim in on your target, the faster you can kill your target, and the less time they have to kill you. So it makes it extremely difficult when you scope in a little bit slower. Now, granted, it's not much, but it still affects the way you aim if you played previous Call of Duties. The other thing about the sniper rifles that's a little bit of a hindrance when it comes to the aiming down sights is in previous Call of Duties, when you pulled down your left trigger and you zoomed in, your crosshairs would be directly in the middle of the screen. In Advanced Warfare, Sledgehammer has put in some kind of quick-scoping countermeasures, and that is that when you aim down sights, your scope does not always zero in the direct center of the screen. It's maybe a millimeter or two off in, I think, 4 different possible locations. So, when you scope in, your scope isn't directly centered, making it harder to quick scope targets at distance. That doesn't affect you much up close, but it does affect you. So when you're scoping in, keep in mind that you're going to have a little bit of sway to the scope, even on the scope in. It's not going to be perfectly centered, and just kind of adjust for that. So the question then becomes, with all the hindrances I've just mentioned to the sniper rifles, how do you still be an effective sniper in Advanced Warfare? And actually, the movement in Advanced Warfare is huge when it comes to sniping. They've added the exosuit, and my advice is use it. You know, you don't have to take my advice. Obviously, I just had this one good gameplay that I uploaded to YouTube, but it's really, really helpful to use the exosuit. You see, I jump around, bounce, try and stay side to side and vertical as much as possible, and it's really helpful. You notice even when I miss those strafe shots, I make myself really hard to hit from far away. And as long as I'm hard to hit and it only takes me one shot to kill you, I don't mind having to bounce around a little bit because it means I have a chance to reload that one bullet to give you with the Moors. It's really the only downside to the gun. This lets you get set for your next sniper shot and kind of gives you the chance to reload and get out of the way and not have to worry too much about the bad guys until you've got another bullet in the chamber and ready to shoot again. So those are kind of my tips on how to be successful as a sniper. You can take them or leave them. Obviously, I'm just one person's opinion on YouTube. But the last thing I kind of want to talk about is the downsides to the sniper rifles, and there really aren't many. It's a pretty enjoyable game. They did a good job of balancing the guns, but there are a couple things I think are worth mentioning. Number one, I've kind of already touched on, and that is that the Moors, the most effective sniper in the game, only has one shot before you have to reload. That makes it really hard when you meet a group of guys, come across, you know, 1 or 2 guys, you're fine, but if you hit 3 or 4, you're basically guaranteed to be dead unless you're just really good at using that exosuit. The other thing that this makes really difficult is occasionally it'll give you a hit marker, and you're pretty much done if you get a hit marker on somebody with a one-shot gun that only has 1 bullet. The other major downside of the sniper rifles is that there's only really two usable ones, the Moors and the Atlas 20mm. As you can see, I tend to stick with the Moors because it's much smaller, takes up less of my screen, and it's easier to see enemies at distance. The Atlas, while it gets a lot less hit markers, it's kind of big and clunky, the aim-in's a little harder to get used to, and the thing looks like a rocket launcher on your shoulder. It takes up the entire right side of your screen, and that makes it really hard to see enemies. And in a game like Advanced Warfare, where you need to be mobile the entire time, it's really kind of hard to use a big clunky gun like that. That being said, I don't think any of the flaws to the sniper rifles in Advanced Warfare are game-breaking. I think the game is still fun, very challenging, and they've done a pretty good job of balancing the snipers. I've been thoroughly enjoying this game so far, and I hope you guys have too. I hope you found this video helpful or enlightening or informational in some way. I'm going to go ahead and let the last couple kills play out. But I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. You've been swimming with the fishes. You're on TwoFishGaming.
Ready for deployment. System hack. Enemy hunter Goliath online.